Ladies and gents, girls and boys, how you doing? It's Danny Stewart here from BasicBandDirect.com with another naked sound review. This is actually a little pre-shipment test before I get this packed up and ready to ship. So this rather ugly specimen is actually the entry-level series from ESP called Grassroots, and this is the Rieta signature model, of which I've had the higher grade Edwards version through before in white, and that was a nice bass. It sounded very, very good. This actually, I think this plays pretty much as well. The hardware's not quite as good, but the neck is actually very nice. The fretwork is, the fretwork is decent. The binding's decent. It's made in Korea, by the way. And it looks like the rosewood material is good. And I know the Korean builders, because I deal with Tribe, they're also made in Korea. They know how to make stuff that will weather the different climate changes, because Korea has a similar, South Korea has a similar climate to Japan. So it does get rather humid there, and it does get rather dry there as well. So this is balanced, and it's quite, that's with a scoop sort of sound with the mid at notch, the bass and treble boosted. If I add the mid, woo, gives you that kind of more sort of nasal body. I believe this is, material-wise, I think the body is basswood, rosewood fretboard, maple neck. The pickups, they are probably the weakest point. They're quite noisy compared to the Seymour Duncans, which are in the Edwards range. So, but the price is, this is about half the price of the Edwards range. So, I mean, you can't expect everything, but you know, not bad though. It's better than I thought it would be, especially in terms of playability. The nut is acrylic. It's actually quite well cut. We go on the rear pickup now. That's the front, I think. Yeah, that's the rear. Let's just have the mid and bass as a treble cut. Actually, although I do think that the nut could be cut slightly lower, at least it's even, unlike some bloody makers that that I've been ranting about recently. At least it's even, you know. The string heights are nice and even. Could go down probably half a millimeter or so, and just make the playing experience just that little bit more smooth. But yeah, that's nice though. Just play rather well. And when you don't have the treble all the way engaged, the pickups are acceptable. I think the actual sound from the pickups is not bad. It looks like they're Alnico magnets, so they're not ceramic. Yeah, that looks like an Alnico. You can see the machining marks on them. But yeah, it sounds pretty decent. So this is the front pickup. That's with everything dialed up. Let's take the mid out of that. Gets more throaty. It plays smoothly enough to get that tapping can be done. Yeah, you know what? I mean, these cost about 55,000 Japanese yen new. Um, and yeah, you know what? It's worth it. Definitely, it's definitely worth it. And the pickups look like they are the standard size jazz pickups, so you could easily drop in a better pair of pickups, or you could probably have these shielded um, just to improve noise on the circuitry. But that is actually a pretty decent instrument for the money. Tuning pegs look a little bit cheap. They're sort of like copies of Goto uh, GB7s, but they do the job. The bridge, you know, it's a sort of medium mass bridge. Looks like it's got it's nickel, yeah. Um, Probably zinc and nickel being the cheapest materials. Um, so maybe not as nice as having like a steel or a brass bridge, of course. Um, but I mean, come on, for the money, you know. And I think the preamp in this one is just an original preamp. It's 3-band. Um, to me, it sounds a little bit caustic with everything dialed up, but you know, you don't have to have everything dialed up. And I feel like the bass I feel like the bass is kind of transparent. It's not like a really thick sort of sounding analog bass like you get with some preamps. It's a little bit. It's hard to describe, but it isn't like, you know. It's not the most punchy sounding preamp, but the scoop sound when balanced, it's not bad. But yeah, there's some oomph that it doesn't have that other preamps, or maybe it's the pickups I don't do have. So that's the circuitry is a little bit of a weak point, but the build itself is actually surprisingly good. Um, yeah, I like the neck. It feels good. Um, I certainly don't like the look of the instrument, but you know, to each their own. It's great for a rock gig, I suppose. Great for a metal gig. So there you go. That's it. That is the Grassroots. I think it's called the GRRT or something. 65. It's supposed to be 65,000 Japanese yen, but the average price is a bit lower than that. Sort of 55, 60,000 yen, usually brand new. And they can be picked up relatively cheaply used. So if you are interested in getting one of these, do drop me a line at the Bass Hunter service. And these Grassroots are probably comparable to something like Bacchus Global Series in terms of build quality. They are, yeah, they play very well. Yeah, it's just really the circuitry and hardware is obviously not as good as like the upper ranges like the Edwards. And then of course above that you've got ESP 2, which is their sort of mid-high, and then you've got their high-end ESP custom shop. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a far cry from the custom shop, but I mean, for an entry level bass, it beats the hell out of a lot of others, you know, in the same price bracket. So there you go. So it's a good one. Yep. I might get more Grassroots stuff in because actually it's very good for the money. All right, guys. See you again soon. Cheers. Be well.